Ziyech takes the touch, oh, he's hit the post!
Towards Llorente,
And there's the head, oh, he's in the bar! Vertonghen is off the line! Would you believe it? Ziyech's come forward with him. Ziyech against Alderweireld. Here's Dele Alli, here's Lucas Moura. Oh, they've done it! I cannot believe it! Lucas Moura with the last kick of the game. The Ajax players collapse to the ground. Tottenham Hotspur are heading to the Champions League final.
In 2018 to 2019 campaign, the club seemed to have revived their glory days. With winning both the competition and the cup, it meant the first double won since the 2001-02 season. In the Champions League, they knocked out defending champions Real Madrid in the round of 16. After beating Juventus in the quarterfinal, they reached the Champions League semi-final for the first time since 1997. Ajax were seconds away from reaching the final by beating Tottenham Hotspur, until Lucas Moura scored a last-minute goal, sending Tottenham to the final in Madrid on away goals. On an individual level, Dusan Tadic was the biggest surprise, signed from Southampton in June 2018 for just €11.4 million. The 30-year-old unexpectedly became the club's leading goalscorer with a total of 38, including 9 goals in the Champions League. He doubled his personal season record for scoring, as well as earned the right to be the team's captain for the next season. Moreover, the club's youth department saw several players from their own academy flourish, such as Van de Beek, Mazraoui, Frankie de Jong, De Ligt, Schuurs, and Gravenberg. The next season several key players departed, for quite a lot of money, such as de Jong, De Ligt, Dolberg, Wober, and later Hakim Ziyech would also leave. New players came in during the 2019 to 2020 season, such as Promise, Alvarez, and Martinez. Despite these new arrivals, the club did not manage to impress heavily in the Champions League. However, they did manage to win the Dutch League. In the following season, 2020 to 2021 season, was Ajax's 121st season in existence and the club's 65th consecutive season in the Eredivisie. In addition to the domestic league, Ajax participated in this season's edition of the KNVB Cup, the UEFA Champions League, and the UEFA Europa League. During this time, some key players were bought, such as Antony, Kudus, and Haller. During this season they did not manage to reach the knockout phase of the Champions League and had to play in the Europa League. In the Europa League they managed to reach the quarterfinals, only to be eliminated by Getafe, a far cry from blazing through Real Madrid. It may be cruel to call it a downward spiral for Ajax, or to say that that would be the best they would do for the foreseeable future. The 2021-22 season was the 122nd season in the existence of AFC Ajax and the club's 66th consecutive season in the top flight of Dutch football. In addition to the domestic league, Ajax participated in this season's edition of the KNVB Cup, the UEFA Champions League, and the Johan Cruyff Shield. Only 2 major players were signed during this time, Berghuis from rivals Feyenoord and Daramy from Copenhagen. Several players also left the club, such as Bobby, who would be bought back from Leipzig, Neres, and Traoré. During this season they managed to win the league and they reached the round of 16 in the Champions League. In the following season, Gravenberg, Haller, Martinez, Mazraoui, Onana, Tagliafico, Schuurs, Anthony, and Blind were sold. Some new key players were bought too, such as Steven Bergwijn, Owen Wijndal, Calvin Bassey. Bobby was bought back from Leipzig. Moreover, Kaplan and goalie Rulli were bought. The departure of these 8 key players from the starting 11 can be seen as the real reason for the demise of the club. The coffers were filled with a lot of coin due to these departures. However, the club and the management did not anticipate such a scenario. So what happened to the Bayern of the Netherlands? Well, when things seemed like they couldn't get worse, they did. The club's demise from the management's perspective began with an awkward picture. Mark Overmans, the club's technical director, had sent inappropriate messages to several female colleagues within the club. To some of them he even sent dick pics. This was the beginning of the club's downfall. Overmars was responsible for the acquiring of new players and his presence was a major contribution for the success season of 18 to 19. With him gone, Van der Sar was left alone in charge of the technical side. On the pitch, Ten Hag was still present during this time. Soon after, Overmars' forced departure, Ten Hag left for Manchester United. A new technical director was appointed before the start of the season. Mislintat and Maurice Stein became the new head coach. The best players from the previous 3 seasons left: Timber, Alvarez, Tadic, Klaassen, and Kudus. The club bought 13 new players, but none of them have seemed to impress. The 2023-24 season is often regarded as being the worst start to a season in Ajax's history. 10 games in, Ajax are placed bottom of the Eredivisie, winning just one of their opening 8 games, and have suffered their highest home loss since the 1960s. These events lead to the dismissal of former head coach Maurice Stein on October 23, 2023. The club even asked Louis van Gaal to return to the club as their manager. He refused, but he has taken an advisory role within the club. In the meanwhile, Van der Sar had been replaced and Huntelaar had taken his place. Moreover, the club has appointed a new trainer for the senior squad, John van Het Schip. At the bright side, it can only get better from here on.